What if humanity was attacked in ancient time? What if they had fallen back to a massive fortification? But maybe even this fortification wasn't enough, despite the fact that they had siege equipment, thousands of Roman legionaries and archers, because, and they do have a lot of troops to defend here, because the enemy that was attacking in their endless numbers were from another planet. What would happen? Well, if you had a time machine and you knew about this attack, could you do something to help or to stop it? Say you could upgrade the human defenders' artillery or ranged equipment, but just in small amounts. Could you come up with a weapon system that would work? That would allow, well, the Roman soldiers to hold out long enough to hold the line against hundreds of thousands of enemy invaders. Now, if you look at the numbers in the upper right, during this stormy battle, there are about 7,195 human defenders against 99,000 aliens, Xenos. Now, the good news is that there seems to be only one point to breach in right here, and it is pretty well defended. But what I'm most curious about is this right here, the artillery arrangement. Now, the issue here is the artillery might not have very good range. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine having a sword and a shield and then some like xenomorphic alien pops in with blades attached to his hands? I don't know how well the humans are going to hold out, but this is what it looks like from the air, and the catapults are finally firing. This fortification is massive, but there just aren't enough defenders to defend it from all sides, at least not at this stage in the war. Goodness. The catapults are starting to do decently well. That being said, this Tyranid invasion is absolutely ripping through the Roman legionaries. The archers are firing in their hundreds and thousands, but is it enough? It doesn't seem like it, because the troops are still getting destroyed. Even if just a few get there, they're usually able to hack down at least one or two. And that's not a trade-off that the human defenders can endure at this moment. And just look outside the wall. Luckily, no one's on top of the wall, because if they were, well, they would be depressed. But if you were time travel, could you take these lessons that you learned, go back in time again, and tell them how to update their tactics, and maybe even give them some better technology? What we'll be very curious to see if these Tyranids find another way in. The closest wall isn't for a while. This narrow isthmus between the two lakes is a pretty good choke point. What is happening here? Water is starting to pool inside of the castle as a result of the rain. This is something new in Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2 that I have not yet seen. It's actually possible for troops to drown in the water, and some of them might actually do that. The first unit of legionnaires has fallen, and now the Tyranid invaders are running straight into the ranged archers, and, well, the archers aren't nearly as well armored or equipped for close quarters combat. But the catapults are doing a pretty good job. That being said, only about 2,000 or 3,000 invaders have been slain. No one has fallen into the water and not been able to breathe just yet, but I think it's about to happen at some point. What's interesting though now is the Tyranids are splitting up their forces and starting to come at some of these range units that are in this building here. Enemy defenders' numbers are, well, they're down to just over 5,000. And the water physics is getting really strange around here. Yeah, very strange indeed. In fact, this whole area is like they're fighting in mud. If there was physics, I would be very curious to see what would be happening. But the catapult rocks are doing a fantastic job. Just don't know if it's going to be enough. Like, look at these endless amount. There's over 93,000. You could just throw a grenade right here. Maybe that's the thing. As the time-traveling defender, you would need to teach these people how to make explosives or black powder weaponry like muskets. Maybe even something more advanced like machine gun, heavy artillery. Here seems to be where the defenders have a decent chance, But the Tyranids just move so fast. It's like they're raptors that were genetically engineered or just evolved to be even better hunters than velociraptors are. Now, if you look at the total kills, it looks like the Tyranids are getting about 1 kill for every 3 that the defenders are getting. You need to at least get the ratio up to 10 defender kills to every 1 attacker kill for this to even be remotely sustainable, to have even a smallest chance. Look at these little critters, man. These things are terrifying. Look at those sharp teeth, man. And that was in slow motion. Someone has fallen out of position. Someone has succumbed to the flood. And the war rages all around us. The battle has been raging so long, it's like nighttime now. This is what I was worried about. As soon as the attackers start to destroy the catapults, the chances of any hope of resistance are going to fade even faster. All of the archers in here have been defeated. Oh, wow. And right now they're really sending in tons of troops over here instead of focusing on the catapults. Why? I'm not entirely sure. I thought for sure this area would be destroyed first, and then the Tyranids would focus on this courtyard and these defenders. Oh, another catapult fell. At this point, there are less than 2,000 defenders. The catapults are falling. They're not able to fire at range. They're having to fire danger close. And the alien Xenos are crushing everything in front of them. I think it's clear that the defenders have no chance. We have to go back in time. Well, this is brave, time traveler. You decided to put the troops outside of the walls? The reason must be, there it is. Instead of catapults, we have 88mm artillery. This is the fabled German 88 from World War II. Your infantry are divided out into 3 columns. What could go wrong? Oh, that's right. Alien invaders. Yeah, I forgot about them. Now, that being said, by putting your troops outside of the wall, your artillery has line of sight and can begin firing already. And the defenders already have 3,000 kills. The area of effect on these shells, the explosive radius, is big enough to where each shot destroys multiple of these Tyranids who are now doing multiple flips in the air. This might be able to defeat or hold out, give the humans some time to mount an effective resistance. That artillery is significant, and the archers aren't even in range yet. I'm curious to see how well they'll do and if they'll be able to keep the Tyranids from absolutely overrunning the infantry contingents. Because as soon as the infantry collapses, well, there isn't much defending the artillery. It's just a couple dudes with bows and arrows, which are not going to be good in individual melee combat. So now the meeting of the lines and the Tyranids are starting to rip through the defenders. That being said, artillery is doing a good job, but let's just take a look at how obscene 100,000 aliens is in an invasion setting. Oh my gosh. The Centurions are being completely enveloped. These Xenos, which were bred for war, well, are giving it to them. Despite however many 88mm explosive rounds hit them in the face. Now this is problematic. They're getting in on the sides, and the archers are starting to collapse. I don't think arrows are really going to do much against like some seriously strong, chitinous looking armor. As soon as one of these cannons falls, I think it's pretty safe. Oh my gosh. These guys didn't last minutes. Both of the flanks have been completely destroyed, and this middle contingent is about to absolutely collapse. Now, the defenders have already killed significantly more than they did in the first one. They're at over 30,000 kills and counting. But I don't think it's going to be enough as everything starts to get enveloped. We're going to need to go into the future to get the tech and then back into the past to fight this battle or something like that. The time travel aspect is still a little bit confusing. This is not good. So 41,000 troops, almost 50%, but it's just not good enough as the last human defender succumbs to the alien invasion. You realized that you needed something with more firepower and an increased fire rate. And you may have just gotten the weapon system of choice here. And this is the Phalanx CIWS. I think what we gotta do is put them in a better spot. Because unlike the artillery, I don't think we're gonna like them firing at this height. That would be bad. So here's the thing. There's only 10 of these things, but they fire 20mm rounds in what is effectively an overpowered minigun that's radar guided. The German 88s were able to kill about, oh my goodness. It is, let's go into slow motion here. This is just a straight stream of fire, and they're actually firing at an arc, so you could use them as artillery. Let's see what it's like. It doesn't seem to be doing as much damage as the German 88s. Well, maybe they are. So that's killed about 3,000, but the range that they have is considerable. I don't know if it's going to be enough though, but like, this is truly cinematic. Seeing these CIWSs, as I'm going to call them from now on, these Phalanx 20mm, just absolutely shredding, firing some serious lead down range. It looks to be shock and awe, but I don't know if it's as effective. 10 of them is not going to be enough, but 10 of them with the German 88s might just be enough. So seeing the inevitability of this skirmish here, would you go back in time? Could you have the resources to get both? There they are, the attackers. This time we brought more firepower. We've got a lot more Vulcans, and we were even able to salvage 6 German 88s. So with the German 88s immediately beginning to fire, as well as the Vulcans, this is what the first salvo is going to look like. The 88s are already making impact in the Xenos masses, and now the Vulcans are hitting them. That first salvo, let's see. That did 2,000 kills. That's pretty good. It's kind of shocking how strong the Tyranids really are. There's like literally laser beams of fire pouring out of these things. Wow, that is, the artillery's firing 10,000, so about 10% of the enemy force has already been hit, but I feel like to have any real chance, you need to take out like probably 50%, right? Wait a minute, are these, some of the 88s don't seem like they're actually firing much or even hitting their targets. What is the issue that they're experiencing right now? Are they just in a bad position? Okay, this is where things are gonna get bad because the Tyranids are up against the CIWSs. Like, danger close. And the fire rate of them can't sustain, well, this invasion. The amount of casualties on the attacker's side is just about nearing 20%. They're already on top of the defenders. I think they would need more. This isn't going well. I thought they would have a better chance. The Vulcans look amazing, but they might not be powerful enough. And they're definitely not positioned very well, considering they don't have the put-down power. Now, that being said, the attackers are almost at 50% casualties, and a lot of the infantry units are still up. And whenever anything does get too close to the CIWSs, well, they delete them. Do they have a chance? I mean, the humans definitely have a chance, but 70% casualties just now? This might work. If the CIWSs don't go down right here as the last bit, surround them, oh man. 80% of the enemy force has been wiped out. The German 88s are still up, although they're not doing a very good job. Their positioning, if they were maybe a little bit up on this hill right here, they'd have a chance. Wait, are we at 90%? We're at 90% of the enemy aliens being evaporated. There are actually infantrymen alive over here. If you're one of them, you just be counting your lucky stars. Guys, thousands and thousands of humans died to defend this, but I think it was enough. Look at how many of these CIWSs died. Now, it's going to be really disappointing when you hear that 1 million Tyranids are on their way. This was just an appetizer, an avant-garde, a scouting party, if you will. 99,600 and going up. There's one Tyranid remaining somewhere on this map. Nobody's shooting. Nobody knows where it is. He must be stuck on a rock or something. But the humans were victorious, and the last one was right here. We evolved the artillery throughout the ages using a time machine. How convenient. And we were able to defend against an alien invasion in UEBS 2. If you want to see more, pull the trigger and let me know. And I'll see you in the next one.